we can literally jump into what everyone is feeling and dealing with right now. And when we mastermind together, you can take immediate action steps with you that you can start utilizing right away. So I am so thrilled that you're here today. When I get people together, I always like to start with a couple pieces of good news. And since we want to cover a lot in a short time, I would love for someone to share great news that happened for them in the past week. So who wants to share some good news real quick as people are coming in the room?
Take one. This is Darnell Billings in Boston, Massachusetts. Hello. Great news is my friends unexpectedly asked me to be their best man, and I'm at a loss for words. And I still have to call him back and say yes.
That is fantastic. That's really cool. I'm really excited for you that happened.
Well, absolutely.
Okay.
My first grandbaby, the little girl, was born early Sunday morning, and she's perfect.
That is okay. So I just got goosebumps. Both of those are so incredible. And it actually really ties in with why we're all here, because all of us, regardless of the role that we have or the industry that we're in, we all want that amazing life. And the biggest things for all of us are those new grandchildren being born, being invited to be part of a wedding. I mean, I love all that. I'm sure that I'm just delighted that you all felt comfortable and confident enough to share that with the group. Congratulations to both of you.
Yeah.
All right, so now that we've got a good group of people in here and you guys have put your area where you work and we are ready to roll, I want to introduce my co-host in this pop-up event. So Deb Pearlman, my fellow coaching colleague at the Coaching Nexus, is here, and Kara Schug is also here, another one of my coaching colleagues. And we are so thrilled to do this pop-up. One of the things that is exciting to me is, although all three of us are coaches, we do all have different backgrounds, experiences, training, credentials. So we all bring something different to the table. And we decided to pool our talents and hopefully have a big impact for everyone who is here today. I am going to let them each introduce themselves here in just a moment. I did want to share, you all answered. I'm so thrilled to see that no one feels drained. If that is here, if we see I'm going to share the results of how everyone is showing up today. And I'm really pleased that so many of you are showing up as curiosity. Man, it didn't kill the cat. It stimulated the business. When you can show up learning based and curious and open to different perspectives and ideas, it's so critical. So this is very exciting to me to see we've got curiosity in the room, focused energy, energized, and reflective. So thank you for participating in that poll. I'm going to stop sharing that. So Kara and Deb, I know that you guys both bring specific skills to the table. And I would love it if you would share with the group a little bit about yourselves.
All right. Well, thank you guys all for being here today. We really appreciate it. And I'm blown away that nobody is feeling overwhelmed. And that's really cool. So we're super excited. And curiosity is the key. Guys, if you're present and you're breathing and you're curious, life will be amazing. So I'm really looking forward to the breakout room and talking to you each.
Excellent.
So, two things. First, Kara is being very modest. She is an excellent life coach. She's been with Coaching Nexus and has years of experience. So I'm going to promote you for you because I love working with you and you're an amazing human being. And Bridget, you didn't say anything about yourself. Bridget is, oh my gosh, brilliant. And she is a treasure and she is a wonderful person and human being to work with. So I so appreciate both of you. A little bit about me. I have a little over 30 years experience. My expertise is in sales processes, sales training, keeping up those KPIs, meeting your metrics, exceeding your goals, and thriving in your life, not just surviving. So that being said, I'm going to pass this back to our leader.
Yeah, and thank you for all of those kind words. I've been a coach now since 2009. Involved in coaching, though. I hired my first real estate coach in February 1999. Almost every class I do, there's someone who's younger than the length of time I've had a coach, which does not make me feel old. It makes me feel experienced. So I decided that I want to lean in on that and enjoy that. So really today with this pop-up, we wanted to cover challenges and opportunities that we feel anyone who's in sales or leadership may be encountering right now as we just crested into summer 2025. And so we broke it down. Many of you, we sent out a survey to some of you prior to the event, and we just want to take a moment to go over the results of that survey. We touched on leadership, sales strategy, and mindset. Deb, I'm going to talk about leadership first. Deb's going to talk about sales. Kara's going to talk about mindset. So in terms of leadership, in the poll that went out, the overwhelming majority of you all, it was 14 out of 17 who responded, reported that your biggest leadership challenge is staying focused on vision while handling the day-to-day. So in the room here, how many of you would agree that can be quite a challenge? Show of hands, put it in the chat, put 222 in the chat if you're like, yep, I would agree with that. And there were some very strong runners up. So some of the other notable challenges were delegating without losing quality, or I'm going to say the C word, control, because I know a lot of people that are in leadership, we like that control. And several also mentioned managing conflict, fierce conversations, and or inspiring and motivating others. So in our brief time today, we are going to go into ways that you can work on each of those areas in leadership. So I'm going to pass this to Deb. And Deb, would you share what we learned about sales strategy needs?
So it's really interesting. So what came up from the sales perspective is, and I'm looking to the side for a second, excuse my profile, lead gen with prospecting was the top. That whole lead gen and that whole perception that it has to be done a certain way. We're going to talk about that in the breakout. And the other piece of it was the follow-up and the nurturing. What are the systems? What are our processes for making sure that all of that work that we did for lead gen is actually working for us, and we're not just doing the lead gen and then things are just getting dropped. And then Kara's got the other piece.
Yes, Kara, the mindset.
All right, guys, this one was varied. I mean, incredibly varied. There wasn't like the beginning one that was all kind of skewed to one area. It's saying that your mindset, it comes and goes, 6 of you. Doing okay, but not perfect. Staying mostly positive, there were 5 of you. In a great headspace and mentally strong, whoo, you guys rock on, there were 3 of you. And my biggest hurdle right now is mindset. I need a reset, are 3 of you. So we're kind of all over the board. And one of the things about the coaching that we do, you might notice Dr. Ron Stott's here in the room, and he is my executive coach, and he's also my partner leading this department. As what he has taught me is how to coach to the subconscious instead of the conscious. So you've only got 5 to 10% of your mind that is conscious thinking. 90 to 95% of your mind is the subconscious. And when you can coach to the 90 to 95% instead of the 5 to 10%, holy cow, as I've been coaching for over 5 years and my coaching has exploded and the results that my people are getting has exploded. So hang in there. We'll get to you.
You know, Kara, I'm so glad that you brought that up, because would you agree that most humans in general, they do not realize the influence their subconscious mind has over every decision, every word they speak, every action they take or action they choose not to take, and they frame it in whatever way. But wouldn't you agree that our subconscious truly is the key to almost, it's our operating system and how we show up everywhere?
It's 100%, guys. I cannot tell you. I started in 1990 with personal development, and I have been obsessed, to put it mildly. Like literally, I've read thousands of books. I'm constantly listening to podcasts. And all of that did give me a level of success that the outside world would have said, wow, you know, she's got it going on. It wasn't until a year ago when I started working with Dr. Ron that all of that got freed. And it's like one of the things he says is it's like a hot air balloon, and you've got all these sandbags in there. And when you take the sandbags and you get rid of them, they're holding the balloon down, what happens to the balloon? The same thing happens to you, and you don't even know it. I mean, you're sabotaging yourself in so
Right.
many ways.
There's an analogy that I heard that I think is so interesting, and I hope that this resonates with at least a few of us here. When you're thinking a certain way, there's a pattern, and it actually becomes a habit. And sometimes we're so on autopilot, we don't even realize that we're responding the same exact way every time we get triggered by a specific event. And then that is ingrained in us. And unless we take a moment and a breath and say, so how can I change the outcome? It has to start, like Kara's saying, in here. It starts in there.
The issues are in your tissues, guys. 5%. It's in your body. And if you
Can
don't
someone
release
type that in the chat? I love
Yeah, I
that.
think that's
issues are in the tissues, and you got to release it because it's holding you
Yep.
back so much more than you realize.
Great.
It's
So
good.
we are going to jump in, and if anyone's on here saying, how are we going to cover all of that in 1 hour? One of the ways we're going to do it is high levels of engagement. So we're going to have polls that we put in the chat or launch, and I want everyone to answer the polls. I'm going to start with the first one. And what we're going to do is we're going to have three poll questions and small discussion, and then we're going to break out one coach in each room, and we are going to dive deeper. Then we're going to come back together and share what you all got out of your small groups. How does that sound? Sound good? Okay, so I'm launching this. I want everyone to answer. So the biggest impact right now. So if you're looking at your business, regardless of your role, you could be a salesperson, you could be CEO Rainmaker, you could be an operations director, you could be a solo agent wearing all the hats, whatever your role is, you could be in a totally different industry. Just what would make the biggest difference in your business right now? And you can see your choices there. I see several of you are answering. Let's get a few more answers. We've got more qualified leads, a stronger team, better time management, systems and automation, and accountability. So let's see. We have had Aaron, what's our total participant? 32. Looks like we've had around half of you answer. Let's get like a few more answers. Pop a few more in there. And then we are going to close this one up. Out of curiosity, can everyone see the polls?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay. And there are coaches in here as well. So even if you're a coach, pop
Did
in
you
your
shake your
answer.
head no? You can't see it?
I don't see the
got
poll.
I got the bit, but I cannot see any results.
Oh, it's because I haven't ended it
Yeah,
yet.
she hasn't.
Robin, you're correct. Thank you for that. Okay, so I'm going to end the poll and share the result. So this is pretty exciting. So it's almost an even split. We have more qualified leads, better time management, and systems and automation. Now, what's interesting to me, Deb and Kara, I don't know, Kara, if you see the same thing, stronger team and accountability, it sounds like those are items that would not cause a big impact for this group today. So because I like to speak to and deal with whomever's present, not some future recording listener, right? We're going to keep our focus and our conversations today in these areas. Would someone be willing to share, if you answered more qualified leads, what about that do you believe would create the biggest impact? Why was that your answer? Would someone willing to share?
I am.
Debbie Coffee, where are you?
I'm in the Houston, Texas area.
Houston, Texas. Okay.
I'm really great at what I do. I take care of my clients. I know what I'm doing. I just need more of them.
Okay. So you are a strong presenter, strong connector. Have people trust you and feel confident that you are a person that they want to work with. So now your goal is you just have to be in front of more people.
Exactly.
Okay. And then would someone like to share why they selected better time management? Phyllis.
You're on mute.
I think for me and probably most people, once you get the time management, you can do anything. It's sort of like do that, and then the rest is easy, except maybe the accountability.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to figure out why there were no people interested in accountability, but it could be we're all being held accountable by somebody else on here.
Right. So I would say, talk about an impressive group of folks here. As far as I know, nearly everyone who's in the room here has a coach or they are working with someone to hold them accountable. And Phyllis, it's interesting you noticed that. I had the same thought, but I figured that was why. So thank you for sharing that. And the last one, who will share about choosing systems and automation?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, hi. It's Jana from Winter Park, Florida.
Okay, yes.
And
good to see you again.
likewise, thank you. So for me, I feel that once I can obtain enough automation, that will free up my time, focus on serving my customers and getting their homes sold, or, or finding that perfect home for them to buy. And I do a lot of templates, even in my phone, to, like, after I call someone, if I get their voicemail, I'll leave a message and then automatically grab one of those templates to just like a follow up. And if I don't hear from them, I'll have a pre-recorded video sent to them. I'm finding that consistency is bringing my connection with the customers more, like a stronger relationship where they would want to work with me when they see that consistency. But to try to do that on a high volume of customers, it's very time consuming. And so I think if I can not have to manually send it out, even though I have the templates in place, it takes time. If it's one or two people, that's great. But if you're trying to send it out to 500 people, it's very time consuming.
So, and I think who can relate to what she just shared? Can we thank her for sharing that, right? So the beautiful thing, in my opinion, as a coach, is you already have some of the foundational elements where you're building your systems and automation. And what I'm hoping is today, when you leave here today, that you'll be able to sort of turn the volume up to that next level and feel as if you've reached a new stage of development in your systems and automation. And little self plug, listen to the summer reset again, because we talked about a lot of automation in there and speed. So if you haven't gone through the summer reset again, we could do that. Ruby, maybe you could pop the link to the summer reset in the chat if you don't mind. Okay, so looking at those, I think that we're going to be able, especially in the small groups, to dive in deeper on those. Start thinking in your mind what specifically you would like to cover in that area as we jump into one of the next categories. Kara and Deb, any final thoughts on those?
You're doing good. The more qualified leads, it's interesting. So I'm also curious, and we could get into this in the breakout, is how many of you are paying for leads? How many of you are doing networking outside of your own industry? And how many of you are doing really smart referral development, relationships with people also outside of your industry? That's a big one. Yep. Same thing with systems and automation and better time management. It's thinking about what opportunities are available to you and thinking a little bit out of the box and having that creativity, to really take a step back and look at what is your business doing, what has it been doing, and what are the opportunities and where can those shifts be made. And to Bridget's point, like, it can be done quickly. You can shift on a dime. So that's what we'll talk about in the breakouts.
Good. All right. So we are shifting gears real quick, and everyone get your pressing the button fingers ready, because we are going to pop up the leadership skill development question. So if you could look at this, I'd like to see everyone engage. Which leadership or self-leadership skill are you currently developing? We have delegation, coaching others, emotional intelligence, vision casting, conflict resolution. What would you say is...
Bridget, can you explain what vision casting is for our folks?
So yes, and if either of you have a nuance that you want to add on to it, please feel free. So when you're a leader, if you're not casting your vision as a leader to the group in a manner where they will be able to receive it and make it part of their own, you are going to be one of those leaders that is in a silo. You're going to be a leader that you've got all this in your head and it's not out and it's not real for others. So vision casting is, as a leader, you're sharing your vision, your dreams, the goals of the entity, but you're not just sharing it and walking away. You're making sure that each team member is hearing it, understanding it, internalizing it, and connecting themselves for their own goals to that vision. Is that
Yeah, and it
Kara?
does. I think you need to kind of add that if the people who are following you can't see where they're going, if you don't share it with them, they're not going to follow you, and they're not going to follow you effectively. They might try, but they don't know which way they're supposed to go.
Right. And by the way, is there anyone in the room that is saying, I'm a solo agent, so I don't need to cast a vision? Anyone falling into the I don't have a team? Or, you are your own leader. So
that would be me. I am my own leader. I do not have a team, but I can still implement these skills in my business.
That's right. Because oftentimes the hardest person to lead is actually our own self, right? So make sure that you're not discounting your leadership skill development because you're falling in the trap of thinking, well, I'm not leading anyone, because we lead ourselves all day, every day. So that is something where you can embrace this. I believe, Deb and Kara, I'd love your opinion. I believe that growth and what I would consider to be substantial change, meaning a new habit is truly adopted, never perfection. We're humans, not robots.
Yep.
In case I was worried, I'm not a robot. I am a humanoid. Okay. That when you embrace being that self-leader, more substantial change occurs at a deeper level. So I think it's a speed ramp,
and it's
a speed
process,
on ramp
right?
to change.
It's an evolution, and we have different chapters. We're along our path. Personally, as a leader, part of our responsibility, and you mentioned self-leadership, and I think one thing that, if I can just add this piece to it, just consider, are you the kind of leader who is not just communicating with your team, but are you being the leader that you would want? So are you working always in your business, working on the hamster wheel, or are you off and working on your business, even if it's 10 minutes a day? Are you saying, how can I do things differently? How can I do things better? What does my business need? Looking at it as a true CEO, and then stepping into it and figuring out, how do I disperse this, delegate? How do I get this message to the team so that they feel like they have some ownership in the bigger vision? So lead yourself too, and then you can be an even better leader to your team.
I agree. So looking at these results, delegation's a big one. I am not surprised. How many of you in this meeting are involved in real estate? Show of hands or put it in the chat, right? Wow. Since November 1998, full-time hardcore into real estate, that is an issue that so many of us that are drawn to that industry, we definitely struggle with delegation. If anyone disagrees, we can have a counterpoint later. But I think if the government decided to do DNA testing on all people in real estate, I think that would be some common chromosome that we all have in terms of delegation. So we really, I do think that is something we should definitely dive in on today. 9 of you would really like to address that. So in the leadership breakout, we're definitely going to talk about how can you shift your self-perception and think about your impact on whomever you're delegating to in a way that will allow that to be smoother. I am step 1, delegate. Step 2, actually release control from M in the chat.
That's right.
I am telling you, if you are in here, I would copy that and make a little sign to put in your peripheral vision every day. And without vision, the people perish. That is a very powerful thought. I love that.
That was right.
Not micromanage. All right, so the next one is just on mindset. And I know you all said, how are you showing up today? But I wanted to, all 3 of us, wanted to phrase this in a different way. So what is your biggest mindset challenge lately? We added lately. Who would agree, show of hands or in the chat, that your mindset challenges you're facing can fluctuate with the time of year, the status of your business, personal life things happening. You didn't get a good night's sleep, right? So it is a carousel, is how I like to describe it. in terms of what mindset challenge could be facing you. What if all of them are your biggest challenge? Yes. Oh my goodness. We should have had all of the above option. So you can put in the chat that you're choosing F. Sure. If it's all of them. So this is, let's get a couple more answers and then I'm going to share all of the above. That is, yeah. You guys are great, by the way. Thank you for engaging. Keep going back and forth. So I'm going to share these. And how interesting. Look, it's staying consistent. I think that's a clear winner. So as someone who answered staying consistent, would you be willing to share why you chose that and how it's showing up for you?
I answer that. So the thing is, the consistency, I was teaching yesterday something about everybody tracks the failure, but nobody tracks when they win. So then they can reproduce the process. If you don't document the wins, how did you do it? I don't know. So how would you repeat this? So everybody tracks failure. Oh, this went wrong because this and this and that. And then you do something fantastic and you're all happy, but you didn't document the steps you took. And then not only you can do it yourself, but you cannot train other people to do the steps.
Same. Right.
So that's my question now that I'm burdened with.
Right. So yes, it is. How do you, and you're exactly right, Alvaro, if you're unable to identify both the losses and the wins and how they occurred, it is difficult to create duplicatability in the successes and avoidance of the losses. So that is definitely a way where consistency shows up, especially when you're in a sales position with leadership. I noticed the second runner-up was fear of failure. Could one person share briefly in your fear of failure? How does that show up for you and why did you select that one?
Say it shows up for me by overworking myself, because if I don't keep working, then the odds of failure are greater.
Right.
But then what is failure? I haven't even defined that, so.
I think that's interesting. Kara, I think that would be good in the small group. Address that. Thank you for sharing that. That's an interesting.
Did everybody hear that? Because maybe
a
Katie could
thought-provoking
repeat
question.
that one more time.
Yeah, would you mind repeating that, Katie?
I don't think that I have even defined what failure is for myself, and maybe success as well. The bar keeps changing every day. For me, it's always like it's never good enough. So.
Right. And it is funny. It's funny you mentioned that as well, because on a coaching call this morning, one of my clients shared that she has reached a new level in this area where when she hears no's now, there's no energy around it. She's so confident now that the spirit is putting her in the right place at the right time with the right people. And if someone rejects the opportunity, they're not rejecting her. It just was not supposed to be. And I was like, dang, you can't be hitting me with that level of zen this early in the morning. I need more coffee. But it is interesting. I find that to be very thought-provoking. And if you don't mind, Katie, like popping it in the chat, I think that would be interesting, possibly even for one of our next pop-ups.
Did you guys want to say something?
So thank you for sharing that. Mm-hmm.
Phyllis, did you want to?
Yes. Oh, okay. Any other notes on the mindset perspective? Anyone else want to share why they selected what they selected? Okay. So I have one last one. All right. So we are going to, yes, agreed. Thank you for being real. Okay. So get your fingers ready. We're doing one more. Are you all ready? Here we go. Hold on. Let me stop sharing, launch. So now we're getting very specific in what you want today. So in your mastermind goals, what do you value most in a mastermind setting? Are you looking for leadership and influence, becoming a more impactful leader, inspiring others, mindset and growth, strengthening resilience, confidence, and personal mastery, sales and production, gaining strategies to boost deals, leads, and bottom line results? You guys are answering. So we are going to break out in these. I think nearly everyone has answered. All right, so we are going to regroup after this. You're going to go into your small group and we will reconvene
How many minutes are
And
we
I think
giving
I just missed
for
the button I
the
needed.
breakout?
Hold on one second. Why
Works
don't we
for me.
give 15? Guess what? I missed a button and I'm trying to find my way back to the button.
You see it? I
Hold,
have a button here,
please.
create breakout room. Okay, here we go.
Perfect. Hit it. Two.
Did it work? It didn't work.
All right. Okay, everyone get your finger ready again to hit the same exact button that you just did because, oh, here we go. Create breakout rooms. I'm going to.
Julie, she loves the polls.
Excellent. Okay, talk amongst yourselves for 1 minute. I'm so excited to see all of you. If you can in this smaller room, feel free to unmute because I do want us to talk and to engage at a high level. So, out of the topics that we just went over, I was feeling drawn in that leadership realm. However, I want this small group to be what you guys want to talk about. Is there anyone who feels strongly compelled to address one of the items that we were discussing? We can do a quick poll. Are you guys leaning more towards leadership, sales, or mindset?
I think starting with the mindset.
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 Yeah.
All right. Those of you that know me, you know I could talk about that all day. So I'm really excited to jump in on mindset. When we did that little mindset poll, that staying consistent was part of it. And that perception, fear of failure was another big one. My biggest, if it's okay, I want to ask a question and then I want you all to each answer. We can kind of round table it. If you're in a space where you can't go off mute, just put it in the chat if you're able. What are you guys doing on a daily basis to improve your mindset and your energy state every day?
I do a lot, actually.
Can you share? Can you give us
Yeah, sure.
a
So
bullet point rundown?
yeah, so it starts with good sleep, making sure everything is good. It means going to bed early, getting up early. I do my best work in the morning as far as problem solving, and then getting out of I am afraid of fear, but I get out of a fear, have some success. Thinking about my goals for the day and prioritizing.
So you remove that fear with that focus on goals.
Yeah.
Okay. Who else can share what you're doing on a regular? Oh, Robin. Sorry, Robin.
No problem. I'm gonna make sure my battery isn't just says running low. Sorry. I have found that I belong to a book club, and we're reading book on high road leadership. I am finding with mindset that I'm either plugged into that or I'm plugging myself into some other favorites of mine, and instead of on the way to work, instead of listening to any kind of music whatsoever, I'm listening to podcasts on mindset.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah.
So you're really focused on the fueling your mind through reading, through what you listen to, on that mindset to continually displace your previous neural pathways and programming.
Yeah, it's not only to displace that, it's also to recognize. First to recognize, acknowledge, and then
then create the change that you desire.
Correct.
In a direction with some intentionality. Okay. I'm going to increase awareness.
With
who
positive
else
people
can
who
share?
believe in me. Something big for me surrounding eliminating spending negativity, eliminating too much time around, because I'll do that plenty in my own brain. Mindset, self-doubt, things like that. So I need like external positive people in my life.
Yes. So you're careful around who you're exposing yourself to, and you're protecting your mindset by inviting in and spending time with people that are vibrating at a different frequency than you are to adapt and lift yours up. Right. And then Tracy Sparks, thank you for sharing this. Getting up early, exercising, staying in the Word, meditating on the truth. Thank you for sharing that. I mean, how that is just so important. And also agreed with you, Katie, that having positive people in her life. And I'm going to carry further what Katie and Tracy just shared. If you notice that you're feeling like your thoughts may be going sideways, have you trained yourself to purposefully reach out to and spend time with some of those people that are your positive impactors? Good. So you're taking action. You have an emergency plan. Yes, very good. All right, who else would like to share in this arena? Angelina?
I agree. I just read the word whenever things just get too much. I was like, God put me in this job, and you're gonna help me through it.
Great. May I, is it okay with the group, even though I'm a coach, may I share a couple of bullet point items? Okay. So, and many of you that coach with me, you know this because I talk about it openly. This did not come easily. And it is now just how I live. I've trained myself that when my eyes open in the morning, my first thought is another day above ground. Thank you, God. Another day above ground. And I leap out of bed. And even just saying that to you all now, as an example, physiologically, I have trained myself that I actually have goosebumps. I actually felt a whole chill go through my body. Good chill, not a bad, like that whole, that enervated feeling. Because I have trained my body for that response, right? And my sister Erin, who some of you know, she says, Bridget, I think that's why you're single, because you wake up like, here we go. One of my colleagues has a similar thing. She wakes up, and I always butcher this phrase, but her phrase is, let the devil know I'm out of bed. In her mind, she's created a physiological response of she wakes up and her feet are hitting the ground, so the devil knows she's out of bed. So do you have to use either of those two? No. What I'm sharing with you that's a little different. How many of you have heard of you do affirmations in the morning? You do visualization in the morning, right? And usually your coach will say something like, or the book will say, to create a habit, piggyback it on something you already do. I do this as a coach because if someone is adding, I'm like, so you wouldn't leave the house without brushing your teeth, piggyback on that. What I'm sharing with you all that's a little different is I took that. This was under the guidance, by the way, of Matthew Ferry. He was my coach a long time ago, and I still do it. And he taught me, don't waste that, even if it's 15 minutes. He's like, train yourself, your eyes open, and you have the most meaningful, powerful thought that is significant for you. And for me, it is, as I shared, another day above ground. Thank you. Thank you. I will value and treasure this day. And then I leap out of bed. So make a note to yourselves, never share an Airbnb or hotel room with me if you're going to a training event, unless you want to be annoyed in the morning. Okay. So I wanted to share that little critical time. Do you think, by the way, does that mean every day in my life is perfect? No. Do things go sideways? Absolutely. And the last thing I want to add on this right now, and this too is from one of my other mentors. He was not my actual coach, but he was a significant mentor, Tony DeCello. He taught me the affirmation. Katie Jolie, I know you know what's coming. And I could almost cry because this has changed my life so much. I moved through the day with ease and elegance. Tony DeCello taught me that. It's got to be going on 20 years ago, possibly longer. And by the way, I am from the Mid-Atlantic region, and I am second-generation Irish American fully. I have the most boring DNA test results. It's even in the same area in Ireland, right? So meaning I was born skeptical. I'll say that, right? So when Tony first says this to me, I moved through the day with ease and elegance. Matthew was telling me to do affirmations. I was mulehead, and resisted like, that's some of that airy-fairy shenanigans, wrong. It has literally been a gift that has changed every area of my life. Again, everything go perfectly? No. I'm on the Elizabeth Taylor plan of marriages. Okay. So like I have, when I reference one of my divorces, right? So do I have some perfect life? No. Jolie and Katie, you have, and even Robin, we've met at so many events. Do I look like I'm kind of enjoying every day? Is it pretty hard to get me mad?
Yeah.
How often do you see me like freaking out or angry or?
You're pretty self-regulated.
Yeah. You're not going to see me with like a torch and a pitchfork, like, and I do attribute it back to, I move through the day with ease and elegance. When I find myself feeling pear-shaped or sideways or possible negative thoughts, I will stop myself and say, wait, Bridget Stuart, no ma'am. You move through the day with ease and elegance. You move through the day with ease and elegance. I move through the day with ease and elegance. I make people smile everywhere I go, whether they want to or not. So that I just shared with you, that is my emergency protocol. So if you noticed, I started with my full first name. I mean, my full name, right? Bridget Ann Stewart, no ma'am. And then I went into, in case you're familiar with affirmations, you might have thought she said you. Because when I start an emergency protocol, I'm outside of myself talking to myself. So Bridget Ann Stewart, no ma'am. You move through the day with ease and elegance. You move through the day with ease and elegance. And I say that until I feel it. And then I change to, I move through the day with ease and elegance. I move through the day with ease and elegance. I make people smile everywhere I go, whether they want to or not. So that is my emergency protocol. So Robin.
Yesterday, I had the pleasure of being in a Zoom with Brady Sandball.
Yes.
And he said something that I really felt that goes right in line with this. And he said that during the time, the neat thing about it is I work out in the morning, so I'm going to start doing my affirmation during. He said during the time he's doing his 60 push-ups, he's stating during that entire time, money comes to me, money flows to me. Money comes to me, money flows to me. So he's doing an affirmation during something that's very important to him.
Yes. And that ties into a bold law of motion equals emotion, because he's physically exerting and he's attaching and anchoring that emotional thought to that motion. I think that that's brilliant, and definitely incorporate that in. Any other thought, in case you're wondering as well? So I have the immediate, my eyes have opened up. I am blessed with another day on this earth, and I love it. I love that. I do, after brushing my teeth, I do my affirmation set out loud. I do at least 2 10-second visualizations, one for my own self, one for all my clients. And I also do, so the affirmations and visualizations are happening. I just wanted you to know that the first morning thought did not replace affirmations and visualizations. It's in addition to. So since I am the hostess, I am going to leave you guys, but I'm going to give you a few more minutes. And can you all select someone that would like to share sort of our takeaways from our breakout group? Okay. And then in just a few moments, you're going to see the return to the main session. All right. Those of you that know me, and Darnell, I know you just met me recently, I literally could do this all day. And I just want to thank each of you again for taking the time out to be here today, in case I don't get to say that to you individually in the big room. But thank you so much, and I'll see you in a minute.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'll just share what I got out of it. And y'all tell me if this is what y'all got. It was about, mindset and doing affirmations in the morning, and, like training ourselves whenever we wake up, to, putting ourselves in that positive mindset,
meeting is being recorded.
Of, being grateful and thankful.
Hey, Ruby, how do you think it's going? Oh, hello.
Hello.
And we're back. So this is where I would love for people from the different breakout rooms to share their takeaways from it. And because I'm the one talking, I'm going to start with my room. So with my room, who would like to share our takeaways from our time together?
All right. So the takeaway we got was getting our mindset, getting it ready for the day. And it was to start in the morning with doing affirmations in the morning. And, we have to begin by training ourselves, and, starting out with good positive thoughts and saying things of Thanksgiving, just good things. And then whenever we're throughout the day, and if we ever get into a slump or something, is to remind ourselves, that we move throughout the day with ease and elegance. And to remind ourselves that we make people smile. And then another way, my screen went on. And then another thing that if we're exercising or something, that we just, do another time to do affirmations, money moves through me and money flows through me, and just doing visualizations that way also. And so it was about getting our mindsets ready for the day.
It was really a great conversation, and so many shared these tips and what they're doing. So Angelina, thank you for being the spokesperson for the group. And we did spend our time on mindset because, as we mentioned at the top, and Kara and Deb, I know you'll agree, that is the fuel in the engine that is going to determine whether or not things happen. So we did spend our time talking about that.
40% of your profit will go up after you solve all this mindset stuff.
Yes.
Kara, you want to take?
So which group would like to go next, and who from their group would like to share?
So we have to breathe. That was the
Let's
moment.
go, guys. Somebody step up.
Taking what the other person said before about elegance, I always do be elegant and fluid. Be fluid. Like Bruce Lee, be like water. So when things go bad, just fluid. Don't get stuck. Don't block. Don't put your bucket on your head. Just fluid. Swim through the problem. Go to the next thing, and don't let it take your magic. Things bad will happen. Business will not come through because some things happen. Accept it and move on. Don't get stuck. Oh no, because I failed yesterday. That was yesterday. We only live the moment. We don't know tomorrow, and yesterday is gone. So
right, it's not.
If you get stuck, you're the slave of the problem.
To something that is not going to move you forward.
Don't let the problem control you.
If
you can fix it, say goodbye. I'm sorry, I cannot continue with this. Goodbye, and move on. Let it go, and that's it. Don't get stuck.
And Cindy mentioned in the chat, go deeper and explore your thoughts and limiting thoughts. And Tracy, thank you too. Tracy, I think, has to step out, and she said, this has been amazing. Thank you all.
I don't know about a recap, but I can tell you what hit me is I really thought my problem was lead generation, and I realized, no, it's not lead generation. I've got plenty of leads. I've got plenty of clients. It's the nurturing, the systems. I want to go out and do all the hunting, but I don't want to do the prepping and the cooking and the cleanup and all of that.
Right. Yep, she's the hunter.
Well, you are a hunter, not a gatherer.
Yes.
Thank you. That
anyone else
I
always
hear about lead gen. I'm a newer agent, and so everyone get on the phone. She said, be really authentic to yourself, and because that's going to translate over. I like going in person, meeting people. Right? It's just grocery store, the pool, wherever I'm at. It feels very organic and a wide variety. I always had to be on the phone and text and call, but I love people.
That is another one of my favorite affirmations. I love people.
Deb, I'm a solopreneur. I like that. A recurring theme that she covered was the referral network.
Yeah, 6 months to a year, as long as you work it.
She said 13% increase. Was it over the next 6 months? Yeah. So the breaking into luxury and the luxury lounge and everything is all a lot about that too. And it's just, I've been working on that a lot, but thank you for reminding me about that.
In the chat, Aaron added, stop the negative thoughts and speak to ourselves with kindness.
That's a big,
very, very important. Well, any other thoughts from any of the breakouts? Anyone sitting there going like, ooh, there's one more. We didn't.
Mysticata.
That's right. Yeah. No. Well, this has been, and I'm going to speak on behalf of Deb and Kara without even asking them first. But this has really been something that I feel can be so meaningful in your life. If you choose to take this hour and say, you know what, 1 hour can make a difference. 1 hour can spark a bonfire of creativity, productivity, changing your self-perception, and can give you the summer that you desire, which then of course leads to the best fourth quarter you've ever had. Don't allow yourself to walk away from this time together feeling as if you are going to carry this through into your business. Also, connect with each other. So you're all in this room and I see people in different industries. I see people in real estate. I see people from different real estate companies. I see luxury agents. I see high unit producers, resort markets. Reach out to each other. So if you were in the small group or even in the meeting, you really liked what anyone had to say, go ahead and connect with them. Okay. Julia mentioned she loved this session. Thank you for connecting us. And she took a screenshot, and we'll contact and befriend everyone that's in the group.
Oh, that's awesome.
Quick other note. I want you all to know we are an international group today. So we have South America in the house. Alvaro is in Uruguay. And then even here in the States, we have some U.S. citizens that were born and raised in Germany. And we're not even lower contiguous because Mark's representing Alaska. So what a fun group. This is the stuff that I know I've been accused of being high energy overall. However, groups like this bring me so much energy as a coach and as just a colleague.
I so appreciate both of you, and I appreciate everybody here for showing up for themselves and wanting to learn and grow. Thank you so much for doing this with me. What a blessing to be with like-minded, like-hearted people. Really, thank you.
And the few other coaches, we had Krista and Ron. Thank you also for being here. So I always like to end a group with at least 3 takeaways. I know some of you that come to my events already started putting takeaways in the chat. We could wrap up the main body of the session with 3 people sharing something that they're taking away today. Ron Stott also put his contact information in the chat. So let's have 3 takeaways from our time together today. And just on a scheduling note, we will be able to, and whomever Coach-wise is able to, will be staying after for Q&A if you have some Q&A that you'd like to go into. But what are 3 takeaways from our time together today?
I'll go first. I got two of the 3 takeaways or questions that I could ask myself. And they would be like what you had just mentioned. It was like, yesterday is gone, but what are you doing today?
Yes.
And I think I'm going to just put that like right above when I walk in the office. And the other is, what can you accomplish in just 1 hour? It was, when you said that, it's like my mind just blew. I was like, oh my gosh, it's not the entire day. It's like, like a list to do of everything I got to do. When you just said in 1 hour, I was like, oh, I could accomplish, it just broke it down in my head, like instantly. I was like, okay, I didn't feel overwhelmed all of a sudden.
Right. And then we covered a lot. Yeah.
And then it was the affirmations, gotta continue to do the affirmations. So that was my great takeaway.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing that. Let's get 2 more.
Have not defined what is failure and what is success.
I love that. I'm going to play with that.
Spoke to me. Yeah.
I'm going to journal about that probably this evening in my journaling exercise.
I think a key takeaway for me was just being encouraged by hearing others speak about being your authentic self. I think sometimes we hear so much in our industry, very set standard ways of doing lead generation or other aspects of our business that maybe don't necessarily fit our individual personality or style. So, I resonate with that. I like to be in person with people. And I recently told my team that I joined like a walking group because I love to walk. I love people. And I already had 1 lead and a listing appointment come out of being in that group. So I think it's just really, really important. It resonates with me and I need to hear it so that I don't think that I'm an imposter doing things in a different way.
Excellent. All right. Well, we also, as you guys can see, I love the chats on fire, and that is my favorite way for a chat to be. Take a moment if you're able. A lot of people put their contact information in there, including the coaches, and go ahead and connect with each other. If you'd like to stay on for Q&A, we're going to start that in just a moment. And if you are complete with what we've done in the mastermind, then feel free to head out. We will be sending a survey. We'd love to see how you all liked this pop-up event style. So if you received the survey, we'd love it if you could give us your feedback. And I truly hope that this 1 hour is going to create, it'll be the spark that lights up your 4th of July fireworks, and that your summer is going to be remarkable.
Okay, guys. So hit us with your questions. What are your burning
systems to use for following up and staying in touch?
Oh, don't be scared.
I'm right now with Berkshire Hathaway, soon to be with Keller Williams. Yes. And
I'm sold. So who are you?
And I've never been in a situation where I've ever gotten any coaching or any mentor to follow. I've been solo.
It's amazing. I mean, I was solo just like you. I was so resistant to someone coaching me directly for so long. And let me tell you, when you break through that, it's amazing. Just coming to Keller Williams, it's a coaching and training company. And we have what we call Command. And Command is free to you as, it comes with your dues to be at Keller Williams. Command is great for following up. It's great for your putting in all your people. Some people will use more than one. That's my opinion, but let's go Mastermind. Anyone else have any other follow-up programs that you think she should look into?
Linda Lyons, and I am with Keller Williams, and I'm excited for you to venture into Command. And when I would recommend that you get with your regional trainer, and many times they will walk you through that whole system as to what to do first. And I think that is really going to help.
Looking forward to coaching and that tech and all of that.
So yeah, you'll be in good shape.
Just so you know, Debbie, you can get coaching no matter what company you're with. We are broker agnostic. So and one of the cool things that we hardly ever talk about, I mean, you saw the camaraderie between Bridget and Deb and I. We have 17 coaches. You didn't really get to see Dr. Ron unless you were in my breakout room. But guys, we're focused on you and what your needs are. And so it's really cool if you come in and you say, hey, I really need mindset. Like my mindset is in the toilet. I really need mindset. Well, you're going to be paired with myself, Dr. Ron, maybe Dr. Carol, his wife, depending on a few things. And then let's say 3 months into it, you're like, oh my gosh, this person over here, they're using AI at such a high level and their leverage is off the charts. I need to understand AI. Nerd alert. We're going to switch you over to Bridget. Bridget is going to take you for a month or 2 months, right? And then you're going to go, oh my gosh, I really need this.
It's the bottom line of the coaching nexus, and the reason why the three of us are on
nothing I've ever seen before.
It's because it's such a vast amount of expertise and knowledge from so many different backgrounds that there's a coach and it's a high level of strategic thinking and business builders that also want to work and see people growing personally as well as professionally. It's that combination that we're on a whole new level and plateau of coaching. We're differentiating, and as far as I'm concerned, we're disrupting the marketplace with that. So you are watching this happen, and you guys get the benefit of that platform and of the three of us, because we're wildly amazing.
No, three of you, I can attest to that.
Right, and I'll just say something real quick on that, and then I'd love if there's more detailed questions. But one of the things that attracted me, and what we're creating, is actually a group of amazing level of experience, both in business, in certifications, and how the brain works, and coaching. And so it's like experienced coaches, and we are coming together with new technology and a fresh approach, and we're able to really be very creative in terms of what we're doing with our clients. Last I'll say is the focus of the company is making sure that the coaches feel accepted, understood, heard, valued, right? So when your coach feels great, guess what's going to happen for every client, so, and then Darnell, you put in there, if you'd like, Darnell, you and I can just grab a private, Aaron, can you email Darnell? We'll get set up with a call and I can go into those details and share more of what we're doing there. And Katie, thank you for that. So Katie says coaching has insanely upped your business thanks to mindset, leverage, systems, etc. So thank you for saying that. I know I love working with you, and I love with all my clients. I tend to be.
So back
you might find this shocking. I tend to be pretty.
Did anybody have any other specific questions that you want to take action on before we do this again next month? I'm just putting it out there.
I already scheduled my call with Coach Schug.
That's fantastic.
Yay!
Awesome.
Good. Well, guys,
thank you for hopping in and hopping out. While we've got this smaller group here, I would just like to ask, how did you guys like this pop-up style?
Very good.
Cool.
I like it.
Like it.
Good. Okay. And then a few of you were also on the summer reset.
But
what did you got? Anyone really doing anything from the summer reset? Cindy, I believe you are.
I need to rewatch the recording.
Well, thank you for being honest. That's good.
Time block the
I don't know if you got a chance to watch it. Again, kind of a plug, but in that, Aaron and Ruby, correct me if I'm wrong, we really covered some very immediate action steps in a very fast pace of like, all right, right now, this is what's working for marketing. Do this with your emails. Do this. Cindy, you're working on that great flyer. But it was very action oriented. So if any of you are just looking for, so kind of recapping what I already mentioned. Who was that? I don't know.
That's what it sounded like. You sound good. You sound good.
It actually sounded like my voice. Did someone accidentally hit a recording of me? That happened on a coaching call because I sent someone my video from my YouTube channel about 42 Touch campaign. And when they clicked on it, it started playing. And I was like, oh, that's what I sound like. Okay. Well, we are here. And Ron is also here. Linda had to jump off. I just want to ask one last time. If anyone is sitting there thinking, boy, I'd love to ask them this. An opportunity. Ask whatever you'd like right now.
I'm just feeling stuck. Like I can't, my motivation is just gone lately. And I don't know what is going on with that. And I mean, it's weird. Like I usually am just usually really burnt out. Like I'm going to go get it. And I've just been lately like, like not, I don't know if I'm tired or if I'm out or what, but I don't know. I'm having a hard time.
One of the things about the free discovery call, it's an hour-long Zoom call, and you will uncover whatever it is. There's no obligation. You could do it with Dr. Ron. You could do it with myself. There's no obligation, but it's really, really eye-opening. I mean, it was like 2 weeks ago, Dr. Ron, that you were on a discovery call and the person cried and said, it's just the discovery call. This has been more valuable than years of therapy.
I've had several times last month, same quote where, I've gotten more out of the last 20 minutes than I have in the last 20 years of therapy. Yeah, I mean, with Cindy's comment, I hesitate to say anything because you can't in 2 seconds, but yeah, the discovery call is where you get opportunity to really explore deeper and to really quite fully understand what you're up against and how to resolve it. That's when it gets exciting. That's when it gets really fun. Then your journey.
I mean, Ron, I think that it would be awesome. And Cindy is a coaching client of Nexus. And just like Kara said earlier, one of the beauties of what we're creating together with a ton of coach input, like we are creating this, it's as simple as you just scheduling with them or me saying like, hey, set up a call with Cindy. So I'd love that. If you want to do that exploration call with them, I think it's a great idea. I really do. Because guess what? None of us, first of all, any coach knows, every single one of us on here, coaches included, we are going to face disappointment. We are going to face loss. We are going to face missed expectations, or we thought something would do this and it did that. And we're all going to face that. But what I can tell you is with these coaches and what we're doing together, all we want is for each client to be moving in the direction that they want to go, customized to them. So please reach out.
We are givers. We are natural givers.
Because all of us, that's what we
rise together.
We enjoy doing it.
Yes, we do. I mean, some of you have known me for a long time, Katie, Cindy, right? And no joke, some of you accidentally have seen like copies of my schedule. So I have a pretty crazy calendar. Nearly at the end of every day, where a lot of people have said to me, how do you do that? I actually feel energized at the end of the day because, and I know I'm going to speak on my coaching colleagues' behalf. Don't you finish the coaching day and feel energized, right? So just trust that those of us that are doing this, we're not doing it for any other reason other than we truly enjoy it, and we want each person in a customized fashion to achieve what they're shooting for.
And it's a lot of golf buddies trying to, why aren't you retiring? Why don't you do that?
Yeah.
Get your priorities straight. And it's like, it is such a privilege to, with somebody on their journey and watch them discover themselves and heal and overcome things that have really limited their life, their entire life. All of a sudden, they just feel ready to take on the world and feel empowered. And boy, nothing better than that feeling of being part of that.
Agreed. Thank you for sharing that, Cindy, too.
Yeah.
So any other questions?
Good.
I will double check the chat real quick. Oh, Julia, that's so nice. This without Coach Bridget, I still would not have a pool nor my nice couches.
Right on.
That's right. So I'm really so thrilled. Thank you guys for coming to our first pop-up. We plan on having more. And whenever we do these pop-ups, they are open to anyone. One of the challenges I was going to throw out next time, guys, is for everyone who attends to share it with leadership in their office. Like if you have an office manager or someone that is in your network or whatever, to share it with leadership, because we plan on discussing leadership at some point in probably almost every pop-up, unless we do a production specific pop-up. And that way you will be hopefully sharing some enlightenment with some leadership in your area too. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. It was so good seeing all of you, and we will see you again.
Bye.
Thank you.